What's up guys, not Jason from Thin Line Defense, and today we're going to be looking at firearm storage ideas. So if you guys are anything like me, this is how you do your firearm storage currently. Now, this really has been my storage for my EDC carry, and I wasn't too concerned about it because it was really only nighttime that I would do this. The problem I had, trying to open the drawer while sleeping. Now, obviously not all drawers are alike, but this was an issue. With kids in your house, this is a completely different dynamic. If your gun is not secure on your person or in a safe, then it should be considered unsecure. And I want to limit the possibility of an unsecured firearm in the hands of one of my kids. So the first thing I did was just purchase a gun safe. Introducing the GunVault GV2000, also known as the MultiVault Standard. Now, I want to stop this right here and just talk about something really quick. No gun safe is impenetrable. The main idea to convey is that a gun safe gives you time. Now, on our team, Joe says that a safe is just there to keep an honest person honest. Now, I'm not saying that my toddler is going to be able to pick these locks. What I am saying is those child-proof lids on medicine bottles are no match for my toddler. Nothing really surprises me when they're involved. Back on the bench, the MultiVault was perfect for me for years. It has a ton of interior space and even has this shelf divider to easily allow a split in either EDC firearms or maybe cell phone and wallet. Now, especially if you have teenagers, the wallet in their hands is probably more dangerous than the firearm. Now, there's some things lacking with this, like no interior light, but those are things I dealt with. Now, you can mount this, but since we move so often in the military, I never bolted this down anywhere. Now, obviously, bolting this down is going to make it more secure, but I always felt bad about damaging my wife's furniture. And you clearly have not been on the receiving end of one of her death stares. Like I said, this MultiVault worked great for years until the electronic release kicked the bucket. I can still open using the keys, but the speed of this is greatly reduced. Now, I could keep the keys in the lock. It's easily accessible. All I would have to do would be to push down and turn, and that would be pretty fast, but I've lost more than my patience over the year having kids. And most of the stuff that I lost was probably purloined by them. Free TLD t-shirt to the person that defines purloined first in the comments. Bottom line, I can't leave the keys in the lock. And since I can't leave the keys in the lock, this GunVault is pretty much useless to me. Now, this led me to a temporary fix, which actually lasted for a long time and might be a permanent fix for some of you. I made a false bottom in my nightstand. Now, nothing fancy here. I just cut a 1/4-inch piece of plywood to fit the space inside my shelf, and then I glued a handle onto it. Now, if someone crazy was pilfering your house, they might bypass your EDC. They open up this drawer and it just seems like a junk drawer. Now, if you just put the wood in there over the gun, punch yourself in the face because you're a dummy. You need something to fill the space. Now, I had some extra pluckable foam, and that really helped fill the space and allowed me to fit a firearm with a weapon light and 2 extra magazines. Plus, the organization just looks cool in my opinion. Alright, so this DIY concealment drawer has been working for me for years, but there have been some problems. Trying to get the gun out when you have stuff in the drawer can become impossible, depending on what you have in there. And if stuff rolls back, it could get caught, and you need to remove everything just to get the gun back in when you're done. The other main issue is I'm lazy. Seriously, this whole drawer mess thing was such a problem that I just stopped using the hidden compartment altogether. You'll kind of see this dilemma throughout this video. There's pros and cons with all these things. So I reached back into the old pocketbook and picked up something that I thought was easy to conceal, looked cool, had ease of access. Introducing the Tactical Walls Concealment Mirror. Now this thing is just cool, and it stores tons of stuff. Plus, the kids haven't figured out how to open it yet, so that's a huge bonus. You have some included magnets which help keep things in place, but there's just a bunch of storage here. AR and pistol, no problem, with plenty of room to spare. Now, if I had enough magnets, I could probably just do a whole family of handguns in here. But there are problems with this. First, cutting a gigantic hole in your wall is never appealing. And between you and me, talking my wife into that was no small feat. So you need to be aware of a bunch of stuff if you're planning on going this route. Cross braces, plumbing, electrical, and you need to make sure that the space between the studs is the appropriate amount. Now, here in America, studs on walls like this are supposed to be 16 inches apart on center, and my home builder must have been drinking the day that this wall went in, because that's not the measurement. The measurement for this wall, the studs are 16 inches apart inside to inside. Wasn't a huge issue for me. I just had to rip a couple pieces of plywood to put up against one side to make the appropriate about 14.5 inches. But that was a problem that I ran into. Now, again, there are problems with this setup. Sometimes the magnet lock is hard to find. I know it's in a general area, but it may take a few seconds to get it right. Also, it seems like only their magnets work, as some other strong fridge magnets get me the audible click, but won't open the mirror. Now, not sure if that's really a pro or a con, but if you decide to pick up a mirror like this, don't lose the included magnet. Another problem, this is in a downstairs hallway, not in my bedroom. So if I hear something that goes bump in the night, the guns that are in this are completely out of reach. Now, when I installed this, I was thinking of, home invasion scenario, a home robbery, and I think the firearms in that scenario would be fairly easy to access and quick to access. But the idea of a home invasion, if I had to pick if it was going to happen during daytime or at nighttime, I don't know. I'm guessing it would happen at night. And so these firearms are just out of reach for me. This leads us to a video that I've already done, the Gunbox Guardian. This is the only item I found that checks all the boxes I care about, and even some boxes I didn't know mattered to me. Now, in a home invasion scenario, speed of access is extremely important to me, maybe the most important thing. The diversity of access. With a code, RFID, or a fingerprint, you can train to see which thing gets you in the fastest. Now, I like the RFID, but leaving the RFID someplace that has easy access to anybody seems dumb, for lack of a better word. So if you decided to program this thing with a 10-digit code, congrats. No one's going to get into this except for you. But good luck getting into it fast when you need it. For me, the fingerprint is probably the thing I would use if I hear something go bump in the night. I can almost hear the mouth breathers out there. How likely is that to happen? Well, it depends on where you live. You live in Chicago or Detroit? Hey, probably pretty likely. I live in what I consider to be a relatively safe neighborhood, and even with that, over the last 3 years, there's been 2 separate occasions where I've had people in the middle of the night that I've seen peeking through my front windows. So it is a concern that I want to prepare for. My biggest gripe is having to hit the shield button before the fingerprint can be read. But just like with everything else we talk about as a team, you just need to train. If you do train, you'll be less likely to fumble when the time comes. Now, as far as check boxes I didn't know I needed, these USB ports. Let's be honest, in today's day and age, most people keep a cell phone on the nightstand when they go to bed. I reached out to our team here at Thin Line Defense and I asked them, I know it's a small sample size, but all 4 of us do that. Keep a cell phone very close to us when it's bedtime. I also reached out to our Discord community, and there's a link to that below. Asked them the same question, and everyone that did chime in said the same thing. They keep a cell phone either on their nightstand or very close to their bed when they're sleeping. The sleek style and the small footprint make this so it's not a pain to keep on my nightstand permanently. And I can have my phone charged from these ports or even plug in my lamp since it uses USB. Now, as I said in the standalone video, and I'll throw a link up here for that, the Guardian has tons of features that I like and that I find useful for my situation. And I promised a more in-depth video for why I reached that conclusion. Now, if you don't have kids, buddy, you better rock that nightstand drawer. And to be honest, I'm a little jealous. If you do have kids and are thinking about getting something to keep your firearm out of reach of those grubby little toddler hands, maybe take a look at the Guardian by the Gunbox. I don't think you'll be disappointed. With that, guys, I'm going to sign off, and I just want to say thanks to our Patreons and thanks to our YouTube members. You guys make it possible for us to be able to do videos like this. And thanks to everyone that likes, comments, and subscribes. Comment down below. Let me know which method out of these ones I showed are the ones that you're most likely to use. Alright, guys. I'm out.